Welcome to our Wellness Hub. My name is Maniet-Author. I'm a mindset coach, and I help women who feel stuck or overwhelmed in their lives by giving them actionable tools to create lifelong positive habits. I also study and interview experts in the field of health, wellness, and healing. Today, we have a very special guest. Her name is Alycia Manet. She is a personal chef and sound healer from California. Alycia has been creating healthy meal plans and combining them with the healing power of frequencies. Alycia, tell us a little bit about yourself and what are you doing today to help people from around the world? The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you so much. A little bit about myself. I went to Le Cordon Bleu. I worked in restaurants throughout the country, like Pennsylvania, Louisiana, California. I've consulted for restaurants in LA, making their menus. I became a personal chef and I opened a healthy meal prep company called Raise the Bar Clean Eats. When I became a personal chef, many clients would seek me out for their dietary restrictions. So I very quickly learned about diabetes, high cholesterol, prepping for organ transplants, gout, you name it. I have probably heard it and received the doctor's notes for it so that I could tailor their recipes and create the same comfort foods that they love. That's very hard to give up. And I've helped people get off of their diabetes medicine, lower their cholesterol. Through all of this, I dabbled in a lot of fad diets because everybody always wanted to try something new. So I took all the valuable knowledge from each of them and I created a book. I authored a book called FAD Recipes. It stands for Frequency Aligned Diet. And it teaches you about frequencies, how they're made, how they affect our food, how to incorporate them into your food. And also the book has recipes that have healthy ingredient substitutes that make eating the same stuff you're used to eating every day healthy. So now you could still have joy when you're eating.
That sounds wonderful. And the book is out already?
So the book is available for an ebook download through my website on rtvcleaneats.com, and it's being uploaded to Amazon Kindle so that you could purchase it from Amazon, and it'll be printed if you would rather a hard copy and mailed to you.
I want to buy a copy. It sounds really interesting. And that's wonderful. What else is in the book?
So the book was going to take you through understanding where I believe we're created through frequency and God. It gets you to understand how to fathom a frequency because they're invisible. You can't see them, but every day you're feeling them and you don't even realize it. But once you gain this knowledge that I teach you in the book, you're more self-aware and you begin to see it. You could actually see it better, feel it better. You could mold it to what you need. A big way that this applies to food, think about a DNA chain and how it has its genes. It's almost like a chemical makeup. So every food, every plant, every person, everything has that. And they have a pure form of it that's untouched. And that's usually a very healthy form. So when it comes to food, you don't want to mess with that. You don't want to mess with that makeup because when you microwave something or you process it at a very high heat or add chemicals, it's now all jumbled up. And when it goes into our bodies mimic those and they get all jumbled up. And so once you understand that process, I go into more detail about it. You begin to make better choices with the things you're putting into your body, what you're preparing, even if you still go out to eat, because we're human. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to celebrate birthdays with a cake. You just start to learn to make better choices. Like, okay, I'm going to get the cake without the dye in it. I'm going to get the ingredient, or I'm going to get the item on the menu that doesn't have the seed oils in it. I'll opt for something a little cleaner.
People will read your book and they will become more aware of what they're eating and they will make better choices after reading your book. So,
yes. Yeah. And it could be as simple as making very small tweaks because I have watched everybody, including myself, develop over the years, making slow but steady changes. Some people start with changing their water, not having water with chlorine. Some people start with no seed oils. Some people start vegan. And that's fine. Whatever resonates with you, it's one small change a day makes a very big difference. So instead of just saying, oh, it's just too much to think of and getting overwhelmed, just pick one thing. Just one thing.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about in the book?
Yes. The book also talks about how your thinking affects your health. So I firmly believe in this theory, but your body keeps the count. I've learned it from Louise Hay. Many different people wrote about this already. So when you see what your illness is and then you read what the cause of that is, it's usually a stress factor or something. You're like, oh my goodness, like this is dead on. And so it helps you, again, make better choices and help keep yourself in alignment. So you learn about that in the book as well. You learn how you could tailor your diet to certain emotions that have affected you. Um, and there's also recipes so that you're like, I want to be able to eat my enchiladas, my chicken enchiladas or something. There's a tweak to it so that you can still eat it.
In a healthier way.
In a healthier way.
Do you have some tips for people in the book as far as what they should be using or not using or eating or not eating in general?
Oh, definitely. I like to start with telling people to choose organic. A lot of times people go, oh my goodness, organic is so expensive. I can't do that. I could barely afford regular food. I'm noticing, because I have to buy the inventory for my business, it's not that different. It's the more expensive organic would be the proteins, like the animal meat, because it's basically farm fresh. But I do in the book get into what grass-fed versus grass-finished. When we're talking about eggs, free range sounds better, but it's not. They're still limited, whereas pasture raised is better because they're able to go free all day. So in this book, it's there. It's all layered out for you. You have your reasons why. There's sources in there. I do have some explanations from Harvard research or Yale research to back up a lot of the findings, especially with frequencies and how it's related. What else?
Parchment.
It's best to use unbleached parchment paper, unbleached paper towels when you're cooking. We don't realize that they create these items with chemicals that just aren't the best for you at all. They end up just like using plastic, it leaches into your system. There's studies that show it stays in the pituitary gland in your brain. For men, it causes reproductive issues. There's just so many studies out there that tell you to just try to cook with clean items. I recommend cast iron because you're at least getting some iron. You actually do get iron in your system from cooking on that. So that's helpful. Maybe just cook right on a stainless steel sheet if you don't want to invest in unbleached parchment paper. What else is there? There's many other little tips like that in the book. I also recommend, after trying to choose organic, if you can't do all organic, that's totally fine. Again, little things at a time work.
In the book, you also talk about frequencies, right? So you combine sound healing with food. How does that work?
Okay, so I give you little tips or protocols, and I teach you, there's many different ways. One in particular is while you're cooking the food or looking at it, you could write an affirmation and put it under the food. And you're actually, because you did that motion and you registered it in your brain, it basically gets transferred to the food. So even if you have, like, say, a highly processed food, if you're keeping this amazing momentum and affirmation going, it could actually counteract it. I know that sounds crazy and that might not be a risk people want to take, but there is truth to it. If you can regulate your emotions and stay positive, which is really great that you teach people to do that, because that's like a big piece of the puzzle to life. If you just focus on that affirmation, you could totally change the food that's going into your body, the illness that you have. So I highly recommend to everybody. It could be challenging at first, but really, it's just like anything else that you do with repetition.
And it changes things and improves your life. Well, Alycia, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, and as always, we always run out. Thank you so much for coming back and sharing your passion with us. The audience will have all your information below. They will be able to access your book, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment if you like our content. Thank you so much, and until next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.